that. Anyways, what's up, guys? Welcome. Whoop, wrong one. Oh, shit. Oh, whoa.
I was gonna say, you're gonna mess it up, dude.
What was that, dude?
Yeah.
Hey,
Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody.
How did I do that?
It's a effect. Nope, that wasn't it.
Is it now?
Welcome in, everybody.
Hey, that doesn't change my voice, only changes yours.
I don't know why.
Hey, you gotta do the whole freaking show like that.
No, I'm not doing that. All right, welcome in, everybody, to the 23 Moto podcast. We're looking a little different right now because
We're sitting next to each other.
we are sitting next to each other. That is why.
Very obvious.
That is why, yeah. We have Brent Duffy joining the program.
In studio, come on out.
Yeah, he's not in studio. You
Just
almost
roll the footage right now.
Yeah, I know. Just put it right in. Yeah, he's in. Brent's joining the show. Gonna have a really good conversation with him about all sorts of different things.
Hey, can you put a green screen behind him and act like put him in a chair right here?
I'll cut that out.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I
You're
totally
not
forgot
gonna cut it out.
to sync the
Yeah, no one
audio.
cares.
I care. Hold on.
That's so cool, dude. How come it doesn't do?
Oh, hello, everybody.
Shit. Yeah, dude. Hold on, keep going. Hold on.
No? Okay.
Oh,
And what is this one?
hello.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't
hurts
like
my
that.
ears. And that one? No.
Hello?
That one?
Okay,
Nope.
all right. We're
One more. Hold on. What is this one?
nothing.
Nothing. Oh.
Nothing?
Oh, it mutes me.
Oh, temporary muting. I like it. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Anyways,
Are we good?
welcome
Is
back
audio?
to the podcast, everybody. Guess what? I got big news. I
Dude,
won my
big
very
news.
first freaking race.
I'm proud of you.
Champion, dude.
Hold on, real quick. Proud of you. Good
Hey.
job.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
it was really cool to see that. That was
you.
pretty
Smoked
badass.
7 people in my class.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Is that how it felt?
Dude, it was.
Yeah.
I went 1 for 1 in both motos.
Good job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was sick. I felt great.
You know what's kind of weird about that is who, why did they put a picture of a rider on there?
Well, they let me pick between 5 different ones, and I picked the guy with the Cowie because I ride a Cowie.
All right. Yeah,
So,
Team Green.
Yeah, Team Green for life.
Yeah. Honda boys.
Yeah, SoCal
Anyways,
Bet MX. I will be at the Cal Classic in 2 weeks, racing with Brian Wallace.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Are you coming?
We don't care. We're here for the
Are you
Supercross
coming?
stuff. I don't know. Maybe.
It's at Fox.
I don't know if I am or not. Maybe.
You're going to be in town, bro.
This is a problem. I don't like looking over at you like this. I do, but we have to be set up like this. With Brent coming on, we have a setup to where we can video call with him. So, dude, you're such a weirdo. All right, real quick to the Supercross stuff. What
Yeah,
a
we
hell
had
of
no
a
race.
Yeah, we had a race. We definitely had a race. And you know why you don't want to talk about the race? Because Sexton won. That's why you don't care.
No, I do care, but I honestly haven't even watched it yet.
Oh my gosh! Oh, you
I
were
was
busy racing.
Yeah, that was during the day though, and
Yeah,
that was on
that's true.
Sunday. So,
Yeah.
but I was dealing with a lot of stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I got a brand new truck too.
You did get a brand new truck. You had
Yeah.
a big weekend, dude.
That's what I'm saying. So I honestly, I got to watch a little bit of the highlights. That's it.
Okay, well, that's
We were
fair
at
enough.
the freaking dealership all Saturday night.
I give you a pass.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
So-
what's up, with my boy RJ?
Dude, RJ was struggling a little bit at the end. But overall, I mean, he did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, he did.
He gained points.
He's back,
in the
baby.
championship. Even though it was kind of reported that he wasn't gaining points, or they did it on the broadcast where he lost points, but actually he ended up gaining points, which was
They screwed up.
yeah, dude. But I mean, I'll be honest. Same thing as this podcast is I've screwed up a lot of stuff before, and it's not easy to always get that. You're just dude. That's gonna be you. You
Just gonna
can't
put right
see
here.
it
It's right
actually.
here. Can't even see my face anymore.
So in the 250 class, surprise of the night, I thought Nate Thrasher winning.
I wasn't expecting that,
Dude, I wasn't expecting that at all. RJ getting second, Tom Vial getting third. I will say though, your boy in our prediction chat, I picked that top 3. I picked that
You did?
correctly. Yeah,
Nice.
dude. I
Good
got
job,
Nate
dude.
Thrasher. I got Thrasher,
For
RJ.
Thrasher for first? I think I
Uh,
picked him for third.
I don't remember. But I did put Vial in there and nobody
Oh,
else
no.
did.
Mike Gomes,
Yeah.
fact check us.
Yeah,
He
Gomes
will.
fact
He's
check
gonna
us
text
like you always do.
As right this second, he's going to text. He's going to pause his video on his laptop or his computer. And
He's
text
so
us.
good at fact checking.
Dude, he is.
We're not even live and he's fact checking us right now.
Yeah, no, he
That's
is.
how good
I
he
literally
is.
asked him who invented the Christmas tree, and he texted me back Germany.
Okay. Yeah, that's
And
right.
That's because it's where it originated from.
Volan getting 6th. That was an impressive
story.
ride. Dude freaking still has to use his hand controls, which is insane. Hymus 7th, one of your fly guys.
Yeah,
Colin
flyracing.com.
Park, Hardy Munoz getting 9th, Faulkner getting 10th. He's moving in the right direction.
I think Faulkner is just trying to get through the season. He's not, he did say that. He goes, I'm not trying to push myself or go over my limit, which is good, dude.
Yeah, you
When's
don't
the
need
last
to.
time he went through a full season?
Dude,
It's been a long time, bro.
Yeah, it's been a long time. He's gotten
So
hurt
why
a
wouldn't
lot.
you? Your first season back, just try to get through the season,
I agree.
make it little improvements here and there, get a little bit
He had
better.
a baby. I don't even. We didn't even talk
did?
about that. Yeah, he had his baby. Congrats, Riley. and Austin.
Nice. Good job. I didn't
Congratulations.
know they were pregnant.
Yeah, he was expecting for a long time. 9 months.
I don't know why I missed that. I don't have a freaking clue.
So in the 450s, Sexton got the win. Stewart, Mookie, still catching fever.
Yep.
Getting second.
Yep.
Plessinger getting third.
Yep.
Webb getting fourth.
Yep.
Sorry.
Did you see AP hit his bike on the start?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, AP got 2 freaking hole shots.
I know.
I think it was 2. And like
He
came
for
out,
sure got 2. I don't know if there's third one. I did
dude,
watch that part.
Dude, it was insane. And
So-
then we do need to talk about something.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried for Chase Sexton's health and
Yeah.
safety.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because he's been telling guys they're good looking on
No.
camera.
No.
You didn't hear that?
No.
I'll show you the video.
Yeah, I have not heard that. I
Yes.
don't know what videos you're
He
watching.
says, now I'm going to be clipped. He said, I don't know why. Every time I do an interview with you.
He does it on purpose, I think. I'm sure. Anyways, I am worried
Publicity.
about his health and safety. Jason Anderson is
he's coming for you, bro.
Dude,
He
and-
might have gotten you back once, but he didn't get you as back as
Bro,
as he wanted to. Whatever.
Anderson got taken out 3 times. And
He did.
and so or the third one was kind of his
Team
fault.
Green,
But
my freaking
Bro.
teammate, Team Green.
and somebody said it is like you don't want to piss off Jason Anderson when you have a title hunt going on.
dude, because he's gonna come after you.
Oh,
he doesn't
dude,
care.
it's like one of those things where I'm like, this is going to be an issue for my boy Chase.
When I saw that in the highlights, when I saw Chase take him out, the first thing I thought about was like, you're screwed.
Yeah,
if he
dude.
catches you, you're screwed. Or the second
future
race,
races,
you're screwed, dude.
Well, no, in future races, like Anderson's a type where he's going to keep that mental
Here's
note.
what I would have done.
I would have freaking smoked his front tire
after the race?
I would have burnt it on fire.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's a little extreme, but I would after the race, if I was Chase, this is what I did. I would have walked right over to his rig and I would have grabbed his hand and I would have said, "Sir,
Get the fuck out of
let me
here.
see your hand real quick."
No.
Just, "Sir, I am so sorry."
You would beg for forgiveness?
Yeah, I'd beg for forgiveness.
No, I
I'd
would
get
not.
on my knees, dude. That's what Chase. If you're smart and you don't want El Hombre coming after you for the rest of the season, go kiss his hand.
I almost spit out my water
Why?
because of what you said.
Because I kissed your hand.
No, because what you said, I would have gotten on my knees. I was like, all right.
So yeah, you're playing with
Fire.
dangerous waters.
Yeah,
you're
dude,
treading
for-
in dangerous waters.
You for sure is
Now we
that's
just
somebody,
need to take Barsha out, and then you have both of them coming after him.
Dude, I would not do that.
You might as well just quit
Or
rest of
what
the
you do,
season.
or what you do is you pay Barsha.
Why is it so bright, dude? Should we turn these lights off?
No, I think you're fine. It's the
sure?
sun. It's the sun coming through our nice studio.
Are you filming in D-Log, dude, so we can color grade it?
It's C-Log because it's Canon,
Oh,
but no. But I can adjust the brightness. Don't you worry. Don't you worry your pretty little heart. Okay.
I'm
Is
just squinting. I probably should put on glasses.
yeah, you should. Is I would pay Barsha like $5,000
to take them out.
to take out Anderson, and like then Anderson will want to take out Barsha,
Yeah.
and then you don't have to worry about it
So
as much.
that's what he needs to do. He needs to get to another rider like Barsha and pay him. Be like, hey, bro, I
I'm just
need
saying.
you. I'm trying to win this championship. It's
a good
I'll
idea.
throw down some cash for you. Take Anderson out.
It's a good idea.
Barsha would be like, dude, I would have done it for free.
Nah, Barsha ain't
he
doing that.
wouldn't.
He ain't doing that for
But
free.
yeah, just get the bam bam out of him, dude. Have him take
Yeah.
Anderson out. No,
I like
dude.
it.
No, that's my teammate, bro.
Did
Team Green.
you like the track that you saw?
I actually did.
I did too.
I thought it was
was
sick.
pretty good. I
Yeah.
thought the dirt was pretty good.
Yep.
It seemed like it wasn't. It didn't break down nearly as much as I thought it was going to. It was good racing overall.
I think it was more ready in qualifying than it was during the actual race.
Yeah, which I think I think that's happening more and more.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, but it's like more common on different races. Like the qualifying gets super redded out, and then in the actual races, it's not as bad, which is
good
really good.
because I think when the races, which some tracks that have a bunch of ruts on them, they're fun to watch, but it also slows the racing down.
Yeah.
Right. So if they have some ruts and it's a fast paced track with good sections and good jumps and rhythms and all that, I think
Yeah.
it's more fun to watch.
I agree.
So.
Yeah. So you had I think a really consistent podium. What are you doing? Flexing on the boy?
It's just my posture, fixing my posture.
I have a question. If Hunter Lawrence was in the race series still,
Right.
where do you think he would be finishing with Jet and Tomac out? Where do you think Hunter Lawrence would be finishing right now in these rounds?
And like point standings,
No, just like would he get first? Would he get seconds? Would
he'd
he
be
podium?
up on the he'd podium for sure, but I think he'd be getting somewhere around maybe a couple first
Okay.
here and there, but I think more around third.
Do you think he'd be the title favorite?
No.
Okay.
I think Chase would still be the title favorite.
I agree. And I just was wondering, I was thinking about it today. I'm like, well, if Hunter was in it, maybe would he be there? And the thing with Hunter is he does have raw speed and the talent to do
You
it.
know what? I kind of take that back.
What? He wasn't doing that good before, though.
Yeah, I know, but he might have improved a little bit throughout the season.
It's an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, he might be on the podium on first place. He might be holding up one of these. First
I'm
place.
just saying.
From
Over the Hill gang.
SoCal Vet MX. Nope.
Yeah.
This is SoCal Vet
Oh,
MX.
I thought it was. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was Over the
They
Hill gang.
collabed.
Oh,
on the race,
okay.
Is what
Gotcha.
they did. Oh, I freaking cut my finger.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. So good racing overall. I think I'm excited for it to go into Seattle. You get back to the West Coast, so you get Deegan back, you get Juju back.
I do miss watching them ride.
I do too, a lot.
How do you think about Marchbanks, though?
Dude, he's doing good.
You think Mitch is stoked right now?
Yeah, heck yeah, he is.
Yeah, he
How
is.
can you not be?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I would have not pegged him
Fire
for...
everybody else.
Why?
Keep Marchbanks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, he's the one that's producing.
Yeah, why not?
You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you? Yeah, I'm definitely kind of caught off guard with his success and what he's been able to do, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty exciting to eventually get back to the East-West shootout. I think we need more of those. Somebody floated the idea. I can't remember where I saw it. It might have been Chris Tedesco,
Floaty.
not the photographer, but a guy on
There's
Twitter.
another one?
Yeah. I don't remember. Anyways, about doing the East-West shootout during Triple Crowns. So you have the 3 races, but you have the
That would
East-West
be pretty
shootout.
sick.
But the hard part would be the bikes. It would be, because then if you really think about it, you have to all your riders and 2 bikes each.
Yeah.
Then you're all of a sudden you're up to, oh my God, 12 bikes.
So what you're saying is
know what I
start
mean?
racing and have to bring 4 semis.
Bro, like for real. Like it's, I mean,
you
what do you do?
imagine?
Just put them in storage? Like-
A whole freaking parking lot just for Star?
I know it'd be, yeah, but eventually it could be that.
That's
don't know.
one question I actually wanted to ask him was how chaotic is it there during the week? Like, is there 100
Yeah.
people? Is there just 20 people? Do you guys try to limit it on how many people can actually be there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Because
a
you
good
got to
question.
think for every rider, there's a mechanic.
Yeah.
And then there's either their spouses.
Speaking of,
and then,
let's go.
interrupted me, dude.
No, let's go
I'm
to
just
the
gonna look
Brent.
over here.
Let's go to the Brent Duffy interview.
You want
Why
to go
not?
right now?
Yeah, let's go to it. We're gonna breaking news.
Breaking
Brent Duffy
news.
is gonna be on the podcast right now.
Okay,
Let's
hold
cut
on.
to
Wait,
it.
hold on. That's not breaking news because you said it in the beginning of the show.
It could be breaking news. I said it's breaking news.
Anyways, goodbye.
That was good timing.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
All
Cut
right,
to it.
cut to the interview. Welcome, Brent Duffy.
Welcome to the show.
To the show. I would say a very hot commodity in the mechanic world.
Yeah,
but thank
dude.
you for joining. I appreciate it.
Probably
Yeah.
one of the most famous mechanics.
I would say the most.
The
besides
most famous
Jade,
mechanic.
right?
No, I think he's bigger than Jade.
He's not bigger in stature.
No,
Yeah,
but
true.
he's bigger in popularity for
That's
sure.
true. Yeah.
If you go by numbers, I think I've got everyone beat. Like,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of that following comes from Hayden, so that's rubbed off on me. So my Instagram numbers went from like maybe 20,000 to over 100 right now.
Yeah, blew
It's-
up.
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty
wild.
cool.
But yeah, Star Racing Yamaha. I mean, if you're living under a rock and you don't know who Brent is, Star Racing Yamaha mechanic for Hayden Deegan.
Yeah.
And had
Number
an,
38.
had an eventful weekend. Not going to lie. But as we talked about, you know, you can touch on it. We can kind of glance over it really quick because we don't really need to spend a whole bunch of time on it. But he had an eventful weekend.
Yeah, he finds a way to keep himself in the headlines even when we're not racing, huh?
Bro, I'll tell you right now, he's a genius for putting that shirt out. I will say that.
Dude,
we're
that's gonna
moving.
sell.
We're moving on because he's going to sell a shit ton of those.
Yeah, I just got one question to ask about that actually.
Yeah.
Is Brian's going to be on his case, huh?
Mm.
I mean, that would be the one guy that I think would be
Yeah.
pretty cool with it, right? He's been through
Yeah.
a lot worse. So this, and
That's true.
realistically, if this happened in a different state, the kid's walking away with a ticket, maybe. And you know, I think in Florida, however that law is written, especially in that area, I was told there's not a lot of crime in that area. So the big thing they do is try to go after kids with nice cars, and
Yeah.
they definitely got one of them. But you know,
Yeah.
if I'm going to say anything about it, at least it was just like a traffic violation.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't anything else. Like he wasn't doing anything wrong. He's not like a 19-year-old kid out drinking and, you know, causing real trouble. He was just in an
Yeah.
empty parking lot. And that's, I don't know of anyone on my side of the fence that's upset with him. So
No. Yeah.
if he's got anything going for him, he's not in any trouble with us.
Hey, like I said, kids will be kids, dude.
So this was a parking lot thing?
We're not.
No, I just got a quick question.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So then,
yeah.
okay, because I heard a lot of different things. So that kind of airs it out right there. This happened in the parking lot. They weren't drag racing.
It was lame.
So
it was lame. He got caught. End of story.
Yeah. Anyways,
I want to talk you. The biggest thing that I want to talk about is this season has been chaotic. For a lot of different things. I mean, especially in the 450 class, 250 class, all that stuff. Yeah. Talk about how the season has been for you. You guys have had some ups, some downs. You know, kind of give me a little bit of your perspective on how the season's gone, how it started. You kind of have a little bit of a break right now, and you're kind of getting back into it in Seattle. How's everything been?
Yeah, so I can back up to the end of last season when Hayden got some hardware taken out of his wrist, and that was bothering him a lot more than he was putting out there. So to get that fixed allowed us to have that full preseason prep that we really lacked last year. So also part of that was, hey, you're coming back from a little operation. Let's make sure we don't make this a career lasting injury. So let's really ease into it. And we eased into it and did a whole different approach to Supercross this year, as far as like not really going with the Swanee crew and going sprinting. We were just doing our own thing. And his speed was there. And we had a couple good days when we would ride with like the training crew here and there. His speed was there. But when we went racing, he was just lacking a little bit. And, when we left the West Coast after those first 4 rounds, we knew something was off. So we jumped back on the Swanee program. And since then, he's just really taken off. And I think some of that, you got to give Swanee a lot of credit, but also Hayden works his butt off. And I just more time on the bike and more racing, you're gonna get up to speed. You don't have to win round 1 to be the points leader later and win the championship. I don't think our approach was wrong. Maybe it was wrong in the sense we didn't go clean up the first a couple of West Coast rounds like everyone kind of anticipated him to, but we are in a good spot right now. So not a lot of regret on our approach to the season.
I picked him to go undefeated. I thought he would. He's next level, and I didn't anticipate Julian to be as good as he is either. And so that was kind of another, X factor to it. And I love their little like beef, like not beef, but like like there is a little. It is kind of cool to like see a little bit of the back and forth and everything. But I didn't anticipate Julian to be as good as he was. I anticipated Hayden, and that I do have a question on that is of. It seems like Hayden, not as a different rider, but he does look different outdoors compared to Supercross. And I think that might be him getting used to riding Supercross because he did get hurt, right? Or not hurt, but he had to have the surgery and everything. And so he kind of had to get back into it and just get his feet back under him. But he does look different. Like when I see the videos that you guys put out of him on an outdoor track, I'm like, this dude is flat out faster than anybody that rides a dirt bike.
He's wide open.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that's something that you see because you're there every single day, but on the outside looking in, that's kind of a perspective I see.
Yeah, I can definitely see him have that extra edge when we go outdoors. And there's plenty of days on Supercross where I see it. I think it's harder to really shine through in Supercross because a shorter lap time, a shorter race, you have to be so calculated that you can have 2 different riding styles riding the same lap time. And, some tracks don't allow the hang it out wide open style like Hayden has, and maybe more precision is better. But outdoors, you can just let her eat and, that raw speed shines through. But I have been seeing a lot more of that aggression on the Supercross track. And I think some of it is being on the West Coast. We're able to have all these weekends off opposite the East guys. And we've been riding a lot of motocross. And I think getting that speed and intensity back is really starting to apply back into Supercross now.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? I want to move on from Hayden.
No, dude, I just can't wait to watch him outdoors. I feel like if anybody can go undefeated this season in outdoors, it's going to be that kid for sure.
He could.
He's sick in outdoors, dude.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to see him dominate outdoors, but calling undefeated was a
Yeah.
pretty tall
Yeah.
call because
Yeah.
there's so many good guys, like not only on our team but on others.
Oh
And
yeah.
I would like to see him, you know, have a dominating year like he did last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He still does need to get that Supercross title.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I'm sure you want too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you've held up some good championships. And
But I don't think winning it last year would have been the right thing to do.
Mm,
Being being that you can only defend it one time and then you have to move up. I think that Hayden still needed little bit more time in Supercross.
That's
So
good.
winning it last year, or losing it last year, he only lost by 4 points. And I I don't know what it would look like right now if everyone was now talking. Does Hayden win his second championship? How's he going to do next year? Like still think he needs next year to keep building because I see a lot of improvement in his riding and big time in the whoops this year compared to
yeah.
last year and
Big.
his racecraft. So he's perfecting a lot of his riding and racing that I think it's kind of a blessing we didn't win it last year.
Yeah. Well, you see the Vial predicament. I don't know if you
Yeah,
put in much thought of that, but that dude has to move up.
yeah,
And he isn't winning races. He has to move up. Who knows where he goes? Like, I don't think Hayden would have that problem, but I do think that there is an element to that. You're 100% right.
yeah.
100%. Um, talk about this season being, I mean, you guys have had a little bit more time to prep and like getting into the West Coast because you guys were East Coast last season. Do you prefer as a mechanic? Is there any difference whatsoever to preparing for the West Coast compared to the East Coast because it's sooner, or does it not matter to you? You're just ready to go.
Now everyone has to be ready at round one, regardless. So uh some guys are maybe a little bit further behind as like speed or fitness wise, but everyone is for the most part required to be ready for round one because they don't really tell you until 2 weeks before because
Oh yeah.
the team doesn't make that call until they can really fully assess everyone. They're not gonna lay it out in November and say, all right, you've got 4 months and you've got 2 months, and they're everyone be ready at this time because you never know what's going to happen. But as a mechanic, I would definitely prefer doing the West Coast rounds. Just get in, like you got to have your race bike built on the truck, ready to go, anyways. And as soon as you do that, you're antsy. Like you just want to go racing. And also, man, those Sunday build days at a hot, sunny California round are so nice. And I'm thinking about my buddies in Detroit suffering in the cold, and I'm out. I've done East Coast. I've done the full series in 450s, but I don't like those cold build days.
No, I wouldn't either. Do you? So, what are you doing on these off rounds? Like on Saturday nights when the races are going, are you watching the races like live, or are you just kind of doing your own thing and then catch up on them, or what do you do?
Yeah. So yesterday, no, Saturday,
Saturday, yeah.
I watched Birmingham and I watched the qualifying, and then as soon as qualifying ended, I went and rode my mountain bike for a little bit, and then I came back home and then watched the entire night show, and then I went to bed. But
Nice.
it's
Okay.
yeah, I take my time off and use it for myself. It's
Yeah.
it's
As you
nice.
should.
Yeah. So I'm one of these days, one of these off weekends, I'm gonna go ride my dirt bike again, but I haven't done that since I broke my leg
That's what
about
I was going to ask you about how that
yes.
was healing and how that was going. Like, because you
Yeah.
haven't, and how long ago what'd you break did you break your femur?
Yeah, I broke my
Yeah.
femur beginning of December
You got messed up,
23.
dude. He got
Yeah,
messed up.
that was a tough one. So uh yeah, I'm good. I just haven't ridden yet, but I'm all cleared and healthy and I'm good to go. Kind of I just don't know how bad I want to get back on a dirt bike.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
kind of go through that in waves too, but what you went through is worse than what I've had to go through. So it's not easy.
How does that work
Yeah.
as a mechanic though? Say you get hurt, right? You say you break your femur right in the middle of the season or something. So then
Yeah.
what happens?
So I broke my femur 2 days before our photo shoot, and it was basically that that next day they had someone else ready to go for Hayden. Like a new
Oh
mechanic
shoot.
had to step in, and I think
You have
we
a
had
choice.
an injured rider at that time. So yeah, like yeah, no choice. I had everything ready to go, and it's just like I'm not going to be at work for the next month. So someone take over, and that's what they did. And honestly, we thought I was going to miss all of Supercross, but I ended up just missing one round. So that I made the best out of a bad situation. But
Yeah.
yeah, Hayden got hurt at the same time, so he ended up going to East Coast. I think he got hurt 2 weeks after me, and then so he pushed back to East Coast, and it kind of allowed me to just miss. I was ready to go for Detroit, but I took that one off, and then 2 weeks later, I came back for Dallas, and he got his first Supercross win.
Do I remember correctly that you had a pimp cane? Didn't you? Weren't you walking around with a cane?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I'm like,
I got one. Yeah.
yeah. I'm like sitting
Yeah.
there. I'm like thinking about. It. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if I remember right, you were walking around with that pimp cane. And you had that pimp lean to it, and you were doing track walk with it. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
It was a carbon fiber cane too. It was trick. That thing was sweet.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was
You
like,
should bring it back, dude. Bring it back.
Oh
no,
man.
no, hell no.
Maybe for Halloween.
I'm like, you don't want the cane unless you have to do it.
That's solid. That's freaking fun.
So talk about
Yeah.
the transition into the world, and I don't mean in the sense of being Hayden's mechanic, because we know what everything comes with being in that world, right? But talk about it when it comes to like the mechanic standpoint of what you're there to do a job. You're there to make sure the bike's good, make sure Hayden's good, make sure not necessarily Hayden's good, but he's taken care of what the needs are on the bike, stuff like that. You have team stuff going on. Talk about that when it comes to compared to being with Christian, being with Justin, Brayton, all these guys. Like, how did that transition go for you when you first started working with Hayden? Because it seemed like it was probably like a steep ramp, with his like fame and then your fame getting brought into it. You know what I mean? Like it's got to seem like it's a lot of a tougher job having to deal with that side of the world. And also, hey, dude, I got to work on this dirt bike right now to get it ready,
Yeah. Well, I would say the biggest transition at first, back, before all of Hayden's fans knew who I was, the hardest transition was trying to figure out what the hell a 16-year-old kid means when he's trying to describe the bike to you. Because I'm coming from Justin Brayton and then Christian Craig, who could tell me like, man, I just need 2 clicks of rebound in the rear and a half a turn of high speed. Like, oh, they know their setup. And Hayden comes off and is trying to explain what the bike's doing, or he doesn't even realize the bike's doing something different. And trying to also tell him, man, you got to quit revving it here. Here's the proper way to ride the bike. And that was the steepest learning curve. And then telling him basically we can fix and adjust anything he has if we're asking him, why aren't you going inside? And he's like, I can't make it to the inside. And telling him we can fix that for you. And that's not all on you. And getting him through that hurdle, and then to realize like how adjustable the bike was, that's when we've really been able to like make big gains. But then more recently, the harder part about being Hayden's mechanic is when everyone's yelling for him, he goes into semi and he can get away from all the fans. And then now everyone knows me, which is great. I love it. But I'm also trying to work, and everyone wants me to come sign an autograph and take a photo, which I love doing. But I have a priority number one is my motorcycle. And I feel so bad when I tell people like, I can't come over there. I can't come over there. And, even if I'm not currently doing something, if I walk up to the fence, I'm there for 10 minutes, moving down. And that's the harder part nowadays.
Yeah. It's the other thing that people don't see, and I didn't see it until I started covering the races and going to the races, is you don't just have the fans. You have people from, other parts of your team that are coming up, like Dunlop, or you have somebody else that coming up, industry people coming up, media jokes like me coming up and asking you questions. Can I take a photo of the bike? Can I get video? Can I do this? Like, you have a million other things that are going on other than just the fans. You know what I mean? And then you even have VIP. That was the thing that tripped me out more than anything else, is you have VIP people coming around that you have to make time for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like, a ton of different things.
Like it's just gnarly to me to see that, for sure.
Yeah, and we've got a tight schedule in between races. Like if you're watching race day live, you're thinking, man, this show just drags on. It takes so long between practices. But if you're, leaving the track and then riding back to the pits, wiping the bike down, working on it for a little bit, and then you have to be down there early so you can get in staging. Like your window it gets cut real short. So you're only back at the pits for a little bit of time, and you have a lot of stuff to do, and then a lot of people to see and talk to, and then that free time is kind of gone. So yeah, it's stressful, but it's a fast paced race day.
Oh
Yeah. It seems like you
Yeah.
guys don't wash the bikes nearly as much as they
Mm-mm.
used to, right?
No, we just Supercross is just a spray and wipe, and then motocross, we'll wash them, but we don't. I think you'll notice if you start looking now, the Star Yamahas are always like the dirtier bikes because we just kind of get the big chunks of mud off and then wipe the rest of it. It's like clean from TV kind of look, but we're not trying to blast water all over these bikes. Like they're safe now. You can wash a bike, and like I wash my practice bike every day, but race day, I just don't like to, bring in the risk of water and an electrical connection. So
Mhm.
we just knock the mud off, get it to where we can service it, wipe it clean, looks good from TV, it's functional, and it's gonna work.
Webb got mad at me because I posted, not mad, he just gave me shit because I posted a video of him and Alex, his bike, and
Yeah,
the wheels, dude, the tires were so brown,
yeah,
like, and he basically, I made a joke like, if you could take a part off of a factory bike, what would it be? And Webb said you could take off those crusty ass tires, and I was
yeah,
like, oh man, I'm like, all right,
yeah,
hey, dude, there's spec tires, I'll take them. I got one
yeah.
up there. That's all I got. I'll take another one. Yeah.
Nice.
Um, so talk about real quick, like when did you first, what was your first year wrenching for in the pro Supercross series? When was that?
So that you got to go way back, 2006.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was a while, right?
Yeah, 2006. I got into it and mechanicked for my now brother-in-law Roy Horton, and then that turned into '07. I was with Brock Sellards, and then did a couple years wrenching for some privateers, some amateur kids, and then hung it up for a while around 2010, maybe 2009. I think I hung it up, and then went to school, moved back to Iowa, stayed there till 2014. Uh, like wasn't planning on getting back into it, and then 2014 and 15 I worked for Traders Kawasaki, and it was me and Kenny Day were mechanics working for Tony Archer and Nick Gaines,
Yeah.
and that turned into a job with BTO KTM where I got linked up with Justin Brayton at the fall of 2015, and then I was with Brayton till the end of 21, and then Christian Craig for the 22 season, and with Hayden from there.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
sick.
it seemed like if I remember right, it was like, dude, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
How did you get into being a mechanic? You always wanted to be a mechanic because I'm assuming you've been around dirt bikes your whole life, right? Or most of your
Yeah.
life. So what made you
Yeah.
decide, like, you know what, this is what I want to do?
My throttle hand actually. Like I tried to be a pro racer and I was just wasn't strong enough right here. So
Same.
I had to take the
Same.
next
Yeah.
yeah, man. I think that's the common tale with a lot of us. I can still throw down. I'm pretty good on a dirt bike, but I'm not good enough to make a living at it. I didn't want to be one of those group C guys that, I could go out there and convince people to give me money so I could go not qualify every weekend, which I was good enough
Yeah.
to be that level, but I just didn't want to chase that dream, and my parents were not going to support me doing
Yeah.
that. So uh, I kind of fell into being a mechanic, and then uh, yeah, I guess once I realized I can be at the top level without being a racer, like this is the path I want to choose, and it's worked out pretty cool. It's if you're not good enough to be a pro racer, like just be the best damn mechanic you can be, and you can ride that wave to the top, and also have that success of a top racer without all that risk.
Yeah. And you would say, because I think number one question I got asked about, like, when I said you were coming on the podcast, like, people were asking is, how do you become a factory mechanic? What I wanted to I didn't even want to ask you. I just wanted to respond to him just through a lot of freaking hard work. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna take time. You got to eat shit. You got to, work for the privateer teams. You got to build your way up. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
you're a prime example of doing that.
yeah. But then there's also this new age of people that are getting in without having to come through, the bottom level and climb their way up. But I think a lot of it is a lot of these mechanics are going through Scotty Atkins school, the SXMX Tech,
Yeah.
and he trains them on how to be a race mechanic, and he brings them to the races and like introduces them to everyone. And man, they're when you leave that school, like you're ready to go be a race mechanic. You don't have all the pointless stuff you would learn at MMI that was going to take
Yeah.
you to a dealership. I say pointless. I say pointless in our discipline. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to know all that stuff when it comes to racing. So he teaches you the ins and outs of it, so that when you show up now, like you know how to do everything. And like yeah, it's nice. So a lot of these kids can still go through the privateer level and climb their way up, or you can go to this school and they'll help place you on a team. And heck, we got a lot of young kids on our team, like 21-ish, maybe a little bit younger, that have gone through that school and gone straight to Star Yamaha.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That is my number one recommendation. I didn't go there, and I'm not paid to say that, but
Neither am
I
I.
yeah, I tell other people to do that because there's a really good chance that I'm going to be working with those people. Like, so I want to make sure that my future coworkers are well trained. So
Yeah.
go to that school.
All right.
So are you self-taught then? Or how did you
For the
learn?
most part, my dad was very mechanically, and we grew up on a farm in Iowa, and I always worked with him on my bikes, and then um, had a bunch of friends that did all kinds of their own maintenance, and taught myself a lot, learned from watching and learned from messing stuff
Yeah.
up on my own. So,
That's how you
I
learn.
couldn't ride unless my bike was ready. So my bike, some days I have it ready, some days my dad would come home and I'd tell him, you need to go buy another rear tube because I popped three of them trying to change a tire.
I do have
Yeah.
one question, and then I want to get to these fan questions, and we'll get through them. We'll go like rapid fire through them, because you by far, and I said it earlier, you got the most questions out of anybody I've ever had on this on asking for questions and stuff like that. I had, I think, 20 something comments on the post, and then I probably had 30 messages.
Wow.
99% of them involved, not 99, I would say half of them involved Deegan. And so I filtered out a bunch of those because I'm like, I want to focus on you, the mechanic, and
who you are as a person.
one day I'll get Hayden on,
Yeah.
and then I could ask him all those questions. There's I don't know what it is, but I swear to God, the Star Racing Yamahas, especially the 450s, they squeak
Yeah.
when they land.
We
They
can't
do,
really-
right?
We figured that out already.
Yeah, but
AP's the one
AP
that told
commented
us.
on it, but he would know, and it's been bothering me since Anaheim 2. I noticed it. All of a sudden, I heard Tomac land, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I swear to God, Tomac's bike is squeaking.
So what is it?
I
Yeah.
made a post about it, and half the people thought I was insane. The other half of people were sending me clips of riding and stuff like that. Like, dude, I hear the squeak. I hear the squeak. They squeak,
Yeah.
right?
They squeak. That's for sure.
Okay.
I can't tell
They
you why they
squeak.
squeak, but they squeak.
Yeah. I can't tell you what it is. I know what it is, but
Right.
Yeah.
I only know that I can't tell you because I did answer this to like in a Star interview,
Yeah.
and like a Star Q&A, and then when it got sent upstairs for approval, they said, "Yeah,
Nope.
it's right, but don't post it." But
Got
it
Fair
does
enough.
squeak. It's in the
Okay.
shock, and if you're at the races and you want to hear it, listen to a Star 450, go through the whoops, and then that's where
Correct.
you'll really hear it. So
Thank you.
Yep.
I feel vindicated.
yeah,
Because
and it's fine. It is like expected, and there's no issue with it. It's totally normal.
dude, it was one of those things where I'm like, dude, there's something.
For
Oh,
the-
that's pretty funny. I
For
just
the
got
longest time, dude.
sent a Star Racing post just now.
For the longest time after we got back from A1, was it A1 or A2?
A2.
When we got back from A2, dude, he goes, I swear, Tomac's bike, it's squeaking. Webb's bike, it's squeaking. I'm like, dude, I was right there with you the whole time. I didn't hear
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like for the longest time, it's squeaking. So thanks for
Yeah.
thanks
All
for
right.
clearing
So
it
we're
up.
gonna run through these quick because it's getting dark behind you, which means that we're running through this. I want to
It's
get
it's a nice looking sky actually.
Hey, is
Bro.
it humid over there?
No, it's really, really nice. It's like a really comfortable night in Florida. This is my backyard.
I'm jealous,
It's
dude.
Dude, it
yeah,
does feel
we haven't got the
good.
miserable hot days yet, but they are coming.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude, it's 90 something here right now. Like in
was 93
Temecula.
today.
I'm in Temecula, so you know how that goes.
Yeah.
So A Buer 137 wants to know what are
Andrew?
the most. Is it Andrew?
Let me see.
Yeah.
No.
All right. What are the most
That's your
important?
Bauer.
No, that's not him.
No,
Oh,
not that person who I was talking about.
well, what are the most important things to check on a bike in between motos?
Well, if it was Andrew Bauer, you'd be checking your phone to see if any of the girls you met last night are hitting you up. But
Yeah, it
since
wasn't
it
Andrew
wasn't,
Bauer, just so you know.
since
You
He's in
were,
New
yeah,
Mexico, actually.
yeah, it was.
He'll be back Wednesday.
I've said that, if I only had a couple of minutes, which this is true in a Triple Crown, if you only have a couple of minutes between motos, uh, with Hayden, I'll check the clutch real quick, but a lot of times you can just check the adjustment at the lever and figure out if it's worn or not. But
Mm,
assuming the average person is not going to check the clutch. So if you have a couple of minutes between motos at a local race, you're gonna do the obvious fuel, lube your chain, but then check chain tension, check your rear spokes, check your sprocket bolts. And that's really the key vital areas. Like,
like if you
you
were
know,
like pinched on time, it's like, all right, let's
yeah,
make sure I get
yeah.
these.
If you're Moto 10 and Moto 13 and you come off and you're like, okay, we're in staging, but I got 5 minutes to drink a bottle of water, like just squeeze all your rear spokes, make sure they're good. Put a 12 mil on your sprocket nuts, make sure all those are tight, lube your chain, and head back up. You're pretty
Okay,
good.
good.
Yeah.
Brayton Garabrandt 224 wants to know who is more picky with bike setup, JB10 or Hayden.
JB10,
All right,
without
there
a
you
doubt.
go. Best 29 truck, best or worst thing to work on?
On the bike.
Yep.
Mm,
But I have a
the-
feeling you thought of something just now because you said on the bike and you're like, you probably had something pop in your head that you're like, I hate working on this.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate working on my pit bike, which is why I never do it. Just gets gas. On the bike, I'd say the most annoying thing to run is it's just draining coolant. We have to
No.
change engines every race weekend, and I just hate
Oh, yeah.
draining coolant because you're always going to get something stupid on you,
Yeah.
like suspension testing. I'd much rather change a shock because you can just lift it and pull it out. But change a set of forks, you got to pull all kinds of stuff off. So yeah,
that's
I would say front forks or draining coolant.
All right.
That's fair.
Justin from Sleeping with Sirens.
I don't know.
So
Maybe
he's
if
a
I saw him.
bassist. He's a bassist for Sleeping with Sirens.
Okay.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude, good friend of mine, coming on the show soon, actually.
Nice.
All he said is, and I told him I was going to ask you because he asked me a random ask, no ask question, really. All he said is, how many times have you, ? In general, ... I told him I'd ask it. He's my boy, but you could take that however you want.
How many times have I in general?
Exactly.
A couple.
There you go. Couple.
Yeah.
All right. This question was interesting to me, and it's from C Titus 7. How much does Brian get involved, if at all, with the bike setup or with his setup? He asked it in a kind of a different way, but it was with the bike setup.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's actually a really good question. And, from the outside looking in, it looks like he's super involved because he is always around. And he's very involved as far as being kind of like our liaison to Hayden, kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
like a bridge. Yeah.
yeah, like Hayden is uh if we said, hey dude, we're not gonna test this season, like this is your bike, we're just gonna train and do motos, he'd be like, hell yeah, let's do that, let's just ride. And Brian, like, Hayden never wants to change the bike, he can just go faster, like every time he just blames anything on himself. But Brian can see how Hayden's riding a little differently over here, like how Hayden feels at home, the stuff he says when he leaves the shop.
Yeah.
So Brian's really like instrumental in our program with Hayden because he thinks outside the box to try to make things better for Hayden. Like, we're stuck in this two-wheeled world, and he comes from four wheels with himself and with Haley. So he sees all kinds of stuff that they're doing in other disciplines and has ideas. Like, we don't use every idea, but we try everything he comes up with. And
Yeah.
a lot of things that Brian has come up with have been implemented on Hayden's bike, and they've been positive.
nice.
And
Yeah.
he has sometimes we also get stuck in a rut. Like, we have 6 or 7 riders and we say, dude, it's good with him and him and him. Like, it's fine. And then we're like, well, no, it just doesn't work with Hayden because Hayden does ride the bike different than anyone else.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to have Brian to make sure we're not, just getting stuck in this rut of, hey, it works for this guy and this guy. Like it's fine, it's fine. Just trust us. So he does allow us to keep pushing the envelope on our end.
That's good.
That's
That's a
sick.
good
Yeah.
answer. Couple more is if you were picking a fantasy roster for riders, what is something that you would look for in a rider during qualifying?
I wouldn't necessarily go off of raw speed, like, going off the top 10 who's there. If I'm there live watching it, I'm gonna watch the guy that's doing laps. Like if you're just worried about that one fast lap, like, and you get 2/3 of the way into a lap and you mess up and then you roll and then just keep trying laps. Yeah, sure, you can be fast, but I want a guy that's gonna go out and like, if your fastest time is a 49.0, I want you to run a bunch of 49.5s and 50s and just keep doing laps and like using practice and qualifying as a warm up for racing because
Oh, yeah.
that shows me like you're there like to race. Like you're not
Yeah.
just trying to go fast once. You're trying to race the track and move around and really learn it so you can be good that night.
Yeah. Okay. So I have one more and then it's kind of a compliment, the last one, but I'm going to leave it for the last because I want to leave on a good note with you. MX Tech Talk, he's asked a bunch of questions on the post where I said that you were coming on. He asked a couple questions that were pretty good, but this one I thought was interesting is has the sound restrictions played a part in bike development, looking at different packing diameters, lengths? How has that affected it for you guys?
Yeah, it has. So we've got the same sound meter that the AMA uses, and we've tried all kinds of things from mufflers and packing, and we've tried a lot of different things, and it does change the bike a little bit. But from we don't have an issue with sound. We can make our bike quiet if we need to, but as the bikes get quieter, they get slower. So it kind of allows these privateer teams and I guess satellite teams and privateer riders to bridge the gap to us a lot more. And we're trying to produce power by reducing sound, and it's tough, but there's a lot goes into sound testing. Like there's a lot that
Yeah.
goes into it,
Yeah.
and next year is going to be a lot quieter as well.
Yep.
And
Yeah. It's coming down again.
but
Yeah.
yeah, luckily we share a lot of info with Europe, and those guys are on a really strict dB limit, and their bikes are a lot quieter than ours. So we can definitely keep achieving that if we need to. But you know, why jump the gun and be super quiet right now if you can just stay
Slowly
at the
get there.
limit we have to now? Yeah, because
Yeah.
the bikes, I think next year when it gets quieter, you might see more privateer bikes up front on the starts. It kind of sucks to level the playing field when you're on such a strong program, but I see it from a lot of different angles, but I don't like that sound rule. I don't think a lot of
Yeah.
people do. And
I
I
don't either.
can I can guarantee you, for as many problems as you're hearing about sound right now, like if you look at the penalty report every week, you don't see sound like penalties, which I know a lot of guys that are loud and that are
Yeah.
going through sound testing. So I don't know what's going on, why some guys aren't getting penalties and some guys aren't getting checked. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Yep.
there needs to be a little bit of work on a couple different avenues.
I agree. All right. So
Yeah.
last one is Austin Nicholson 99 and this is talking about you, does he realize how much joy, how many lives you've changed over the years being such a rad dude, signing autographs, giving random stuff out, giving random cool stuff out, making lifetime memories for kids and adults alike? We really appreciate him.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
I know Austin. Austin comes through a lot of rounds on the East Coast, and I don't know if you
Okay.
guys have ever seen those drawings that a lot of
Oh, that
riders and
thing?
mechanics
Yeah.
posted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, look him up. He does a lot of really cool drawings, and
I've
I
seen it.
met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, he's awesome. I met him a few
Yeah.
years ago, and yeah, but to touch on that, yeah, that's a really fun part of my job is being able to like make some kids smile. I try to make as much time as I can for people. But we are so busy, it's hard to make time for
Yeah.
everyone. And I've only got a couple pieces of plastic on the bike that I can give away, and it's tough to tell people, sorry, I don't have anything for you, but it is nice to have a conversation with some people and have them walk away saying, wow, that made an impact. Because I remember growing up, the conversations that I would have with pro riders and mechanics, and I still remember them to this day. And it's cool to look back and think like I can make an impact like that on people's lives, and even just making their day brighter is pretty cool. And I
Yeah.
see that when I'm just out and about and people see me in public and, hey Duffy, what's up? And that's pretty cool to be recognized like that too.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
sick.
You got anything else?
I do, dude. Okay, so we had Julian's mechanic on our show, Austin.
This
right?
is a good
Yeah.
one, dude.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
And I wanted to ask him. I told him, I
Yeah.
said, hey, if Hayden and Julian got into it in a corner, right, and they took each other out, and Hayden jumped on Julian, and Duff ran out there and started jumping on Julian as well, would you jump in?
It's like, yeah, the mechanic's
what I mean?
going in.
Like if
are we
Hayden,
battling
if
right
Hayden
now?
and Duff jumped on
Yeah.
Julian, started jumping him, would you jump in? He said, well,
he
what did he say?
hesitated.
He hesitated, but he goes, well, yeah, I'd have to.
I'd have to.
Right?
Like, he's
So-
like, I
Yeah.
gotta support my boy.
So if Julian and Austin jumped Hayden on the track, are you jumping in?
Well, I think if Hayden and Julian start going at it, the real way to look at it is me and Austin would just look at each other and just shake our heads like,
Be like,
what are
dude,
they
you idiots.
doing?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we battled Tom VL every season since Hayden's turned pro, and dude, me and Pedro we're buddies in the pits, we're buddies everywhere. So there's some mechanics like have a chip on their shoulder with their riders,
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
it doesn't take you very far. Like it doesn't. There's a time where you got to stick up for your rider, and there's a time where it's like you made that decision, that one's on you. But yeah, we don't. I unless Hayden's getting his ass whooped, I wouldn't step in there. And I've seen him. I know he does a little jujitsu training, and he's not gonna get his ass whooped. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I'll
fair. That's fair.
he can handle a rider and mechanic on his own.
Yeah.
The short answer is if he had to, he would.
Yeah.
That
is
was the short answer. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
So if Anderson and Barsha were getting on, I'm just kidding.
No. For real, I really appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah.
You've always been great to me. Anytime I need to ask you something, or anytime I come up and need something, I really do appreciate it. Just like what you're saying is you do try to make that time. And I appreciate it, and did you see the weather for this weekend?
Oh my gosh, I looked at it earlier.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, those percentages are also, if you can look at them the opposite way and say there's that much percent of sunshine. So
That's a good point.
pretty good.
That's a glass half full kind of thing. I
That's
like
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you set a glass outside this weekend, it's probably going to get full of rain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
dang it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people, they're grateful for, how nice you are and you talk to people and all that, coming from a fan perspective, there's a lot of guys out there that wouldn't give the time of day. And with, the scale that you're on with Hayden and everything, you still take all that time out. So from a fan perspective, thank you.
Yeah.
It means a lot to a lot of people, yeah, we might do what we do, but at heart, we're just moto fans. We love this sport. So I'm sure a lot of people would say the same thing. So thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm also a fan of the sport. I'm a fan of all kinds of racing, but I grew up loving this sport, and I just happen to be one of the lucky few that's fortunate enough to make a living at it. And not only that, I've made a living at the top of it, and it's just unreal to think that I've come up to here. And yeah, I don't want that to get to my head, because I'm just a farm boy from Iowa that happens to be good at working on dirt bikes.
You're just a dirt bike kid. No pun intended with the hat.
Yeah, I'm a dirt bike kid.
Yeah. I'm going to charge Jeremy $10,000 for that, by the way.
Yeah, no free ads here.
Yeah,
dude.
no free ads. Sorry. Anyways, get out of here. You got a lot of stuff coming up this weekend. Good luck in Seattle.
Yeah, kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys coming up?
No, hell no. I ain't. No,
Dude.
no.
I just
You
thought
were
about it. I
supposed
was
to.
supposed to be in
He was
Seattle
supposed to.
to
No.
do filming and all that with my wife and
Yeah.
all that. I'm glad I'm not going anymore.
Yeah, I'm at the early stages of all this, and so I don't have my bills covered yet on that front. Like my regular income, my regular job, pays for my life, right? My lovely, amazing wife is not going to let me touch that bank account for 23 Media stuff. So
his wife wears the pants.
No, it's not. She runs the show, and she does a damn good job at it too. So I'm like, dude, I'm not going to spend like $3,000 a weekend, $2,500 a weekend to like go fly here, stay here, do this. Like, it's just I can't yet. You know, I think the next one I'll be at is
hopefully the SMX rounds.
I was going to try and go to Philly. Is Philly a Triple Crown or no?
That's an East-West shootout. That'll be a good one.
I might try and go to Philly, and then I do have Salt Lake and Colorado, and so I'll probably go to a couple of those. But I'm not going to Seattle. So yeah, I'll be happy sitting at home watching you guys suffer in the rain. I hope. Yeah, that'll be a good mutter.
I hope you watching us race a dry track.
That would be would be ideal. So anyway, all right, get out of here. Thank you so much. We're going to continue on with our with the rest of the show.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. It was fun. I guess we'll talk to you guys later on.
Yeah.
We're back, dude. That was a good interview. What'd you think?
That was perfect. That was perfect.
What'd you think of the interview?
It was actually really good.
It was good interview.
He's such a super nice guy.
Super nice.
And I wanted to talk more and try to joke around and everything, but I was actually really interested in everything that he was saying.
As like a fan,
what I mean?
you were like trying to take stuff in.
And that was the first time I've ever spoke with him, so I didn't want to just come off, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's a good dude.
Hyper and all that. So.
No, he's a good dude. Get a lot of good info. What I was trying to do is I was trying to make it a point to, because I know he gets asked about Hayden all the time, and I'm like, I want to talk about Brent, not Hayden.
Well, anytime we bring a guest on the show, it has nothing to do with bringing them on to talk about somebody else. We want to know about you.
Yeah. But that's why I was like, I could see me getting caught up in like, because Hayden's so I don't know. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for.
I don't know either.
But I was like, I wanted to skirt the line of asking him about the Hayden stuff over the weekend, which I do want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because now we could talk about it.
Okay, hold on a minute.
He didn't want to go into it too much.
Which is perfectly understandable. That's perfecly fine. He doesn't want to get caught up with, you know what I mean, saying the wrong thing or saying something that it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So he was in a parking lot when he got arrested.
Doing donuts.
So he wasn't street racing.
Doing donuts. He was not racing.
Okay, so that's why I wanted to clear it up with them and ask him, like, hey, so this is a parking lot thing. This wasn't drag racing.
No, correct.
You know, so because there's a lot going on out there that people saying they were drag racing.
Yep.
So you're getting a lot of comments and people saying you could have killed somebody and all that.
I know.
But no, you're in a parking lot doing donuts. I'm fine with it.
You know how much dumb shit I've done that you've done.
Yeah.
That everybody has done.
I put bubbles and a fountain on the side of.
Oh, I remember that.
Of a thing.
Don't say where it is because they might be able. I do remember that, dude.
Next subject, please.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was freaking hilarious.
So
we all do dumb stuff.
Yes, we do.
All of us.
Your wife had one job.
What was it?
To make Danger Boy in jail shirts.
No, dude, I wasn't. I could have easily made those, but it's like I don't want to. One, I'm kind of an asshole for trying to profit off him.
You can't, yeah.
You know, and I know there are people that did that. There are people that went out there and did that.
There's two people at the race. You saw that picture. I think you posted it.
Yeah.
You posted it, right?
But they just
had them made.
Yeah.
But bet you he makes $1 million off those shirts for sure.
I would say he makes at least $500,000.
I'd say okay, that's fine.
I'm
calling it $1 million. He'll make $1 million off those shirts.
I don't think he'll ever say it. I don't think he'll ever tell you how much.
No, of course not. I'm just saying with the amount of people that are going to want that.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
It's a fire shirt, dude, with the danger over the eyes and everything. Yeah, it was pretty good.
It is.
Speaking of new shirts, we have new merch.
We do. I'm
Robbie's
actually wearing one. This guy freaking isn't. But you know what he is wearing? The best graphics in the freaking business.
Best graphics in the business. Factory effects, baby.
Yeah.
If you want to get good looking graphics and you want all the guys to look at you while you're at the track.
Yeah,
you need factory effects.
You know what I mean? Like this is kind of like.
What the guys? You want guys looking at your bikes. You don't care if girls look at your bikes.
I don't give a shit if any girl looks at my bike.
No,
I want guys to look at my bike and be like, "Hey, dude, that thing looks badass."
I want a dude to look at my factory effects dirt bike graphics and say, "Bro, that thing looks sexy as hell."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Yeah, I know factory effects."
Isn't it weird? Like outside of Moto, you would guys would be like, "Oh, I want girls to look at me," but we're in Moto. We're like,
dude,
we don't care about girls looking at us.
Nope.
One, we're married.
Yep.
Two, we're like, we want dudes to check out our dirt bikes.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I shine the thing up so I can get it dirty.
It is. My bike's clean right now, dude.
So yes, if you're in the business, You go get you some factory effects graphics.
Use code Robbie1 SoCal Bet MX for 95% off.
That actually won't get you anything.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
But I do have a code, and I should have that memorized.
You don't have it memorized?
No,
it's got to
don't.
be like 23.
It
Robbie.
is something 23 MG.
23
for
MG.
23% off factory effects.
Did you put MG in there for 23 Mike Gomes?
No, I don't know why you put MG. You should have put MC, but
does he think your last name is?
You know where I also have a code for? No. Well, maybe he does. I don't know.
You have Luxon discount code?
Luxon MX 23 Media 25. Oh wow.
20 what?
23 Media, and it's the 2 and the 3 Media 2025. There's a discount code for you there.
Hey,
don't know how much that one is.
Do they make engine mounts?
They're starting to.
I'd like to get some for my bike.
I don't know if they made them for your bike yet. They have them for my Honda. You know why I know they make them for a Honda?
Because you have them.
No, he took them off my bike and to model them off
of. Is that why?
That's why I was there.
Oh.
I run FCP hangers, though.
All right.
So FCP is not technically part of the program, but I do run their engine mounts, and they do a good job. I like them.
I'm happy you got a foot peg on there, though, not half of one like you used to.
Yeah, I know. That was really bad. Going back to the Hayden Deegan thing real quick is, yes, you are correct. He was doing a donut, got caught. What really was funny and a lot of people are hating on him for is he had a fake ID, I guess.
Oh, he did?
It's like, dude, you know how many 19-year-olds had fake IDs?
I had one.
Everybody had fake IDs.
Yeah. Who cares, dude? Why are people hating on him for that?
I don't know. But
That's stupid.
I will say, though, that it is dangerous where he got popped.
Florida.
Yeah, and especially the cities that he's at, because technically he could have gotten a felony for having the fake ID.
Oh.
So that was a little, you don't want to do that, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. But it makes it a lot better that he was doing donuts in a parking lot. Because he could have been doing it in the middle of a street doing donuts, like those takeovers. You know what I mean?
Maybe he was. I don't know. But what I was told is it was in a parking lot.
Okay, well, that's fair. Hayden, if you're watching this right now, because I know you are.
I know you did just turn this on to talk about this.
Yes,
I know. And we love you.
We do.
We love you.
Big fans.
Huge.
So if you were doing it in a parking lot, perfectly solid.
Do it again.
What happened with that?
It's just keep going.
Perfectly solid with it. Okay. If you're drag racing, come on, you gotta think smarter, bro. Okay. But I'm good with the parking lot. That's fine. So what?
Dude, I would like to see him collab with Cletus McFarlane and do like a street race at his track or something like that. Would be pretty cool.
Guarantee that'll happen.
That'd be rad. I would love for that to happen.
I'd love for Hayden to collab with us.
Hayden will collab with us. But could you imagine Hayden Deegan rolling up with Cletus McFarlane? Which,
sick.
You know George?
Cool.
LS George?
Yes.
He follows me on Instagram.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so, George, if you're watching this, I know you do. You follow everything I do. You're a big fan. I appreciate your support and your love.
Yeah.
I watch all the vlogs.
Get on our level, bro.
Try to get on our level. I'll get to it. I know what you're about to do.
No, you don't.
Is George, let's get Hayden Deegan on the track at Bradenton Motorsports Park.
Let's do it.
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
I would love it.
You know who follows me?
Marshall's mom.
She does, yes.
Yeah.
Dean Wilson.
Dino.
Yeah.
Dino's the best.
He's followed me for a long time.
Yeah, he's gonna start racing soon.
Friend of the show.
He's gonna start racing soon.
Stop with that, bro.
I didn't clip it. I don't know if you noticed that.
You left it in?
Yeah, I let it ride. Yeah. I don't know, whatever. If you're not sure what we're talking about, go back to the Emig podcast.
Yeah,
You'll
and watch it from there. I did get some text after that show, and people were like, dude.
Yeah, it was good.
That was solid.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Jeff's a great time.
Super, super good. Eventually, we're going to have to figure out this studio mess and get a little bit more legit setup.
Yeah, we also need to think about, dude, it's coming into summertime. It's going to be hot as crap in here.
I know. I got to.
So if you want to install a mini split AC in here.
How much would that cost?
I know a guy. I can get him for like $600.
I was actually thinking about that, like trying to find like a local sponsor for this podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why not hit up an AC company and ask if they want to market with us? Like, it could happen. I don't know. Yeah. Like, I was like, I'm trying to think outside the box.
I work for an AC company, but we're not going to say any names.
Yeah, well, no free ads.
No free ads.
Even though you give free ads all the time.
Even you notice, I don't even take pictures with my work shirt on.
Yeah, that's true.
For that reason.
It's a good point.
So I can try to find out.
Okay, find out. Yeah. Let me know.
Okay.
All right. Going forward, I think that was the biggest topic. I think Sexton is reestablishing himself as the title favorite.
Do you think he's back, or do you just think it was just a solid
weekend? Bro, okay. So Sexton did it 3 times. So if he just did it off the one race.
Oh, he got 1-1-1?
No, actually, I take that back. He got 1-1-2 or 1-1-3 He lost to Webb one of the times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he
third
didn't,
one.
But he
third one,
didn't
Webb.
crash.
But so, okay, let me ask you this. So Webb didn't get good starts in the first two
Correct.
motos, right?
Yeah.
The third one he did.
Yep.
And he beat Chase.
Yeah. Sexton is still faster than Chase. He's still faster
What?
than him.
What'd you say?
Wait,
Sexton is faster than Chase? Yes, he is.
Rewind.
Yeah.
Sexton is still faster. I'm gonna
Than Webb?
follow the bouncing ball. Sexton is still faster than Cooper Webb.
Yeah. But on that type of track, is Webb better technically?
No, I mean because Sexton went 2-3 or 2.
Yeah, but
two,
Webb
or,
also got bad starts.
No, he
So
went
what I'm
two
trying to-
wins, and then 1 third.
What
I
I'm
can't
trying
remember.
to get at is, do you think he would have won the race if Webb got good starts?
Yeah,
in
dude.
1 and 2?
Sexton is in the
Think so?
first few motos. Sexton was riding so good.
Was he?
I don't think anybody would touch him.
All right,
nobody.
That's fair.
I
I still
just
gotta watch all the race, but
I know. What are you doing? You got some ratio
okay.
rights over
So
there?
you
or
know what I was
what?
thinking? Since we had to do a battery change out real quick, and I like to look at all your random stuff. You
Yeah.
have really random but cool things, like a fast funnel, disposable funnel from Pro Honda.
Yeah, they're Honda parts. You can't use them.
Dude,
They're only for Hondas. They won't work on a
I'll tell
Cowie.
you one thing that I use. Hold on.
Yeah. Apparently, my brother found some really cool stuff.
This is called Honda Bright. This is literally the best stuff I've ever used to freaking clean my bike. I'm not even joking you, dude.
I have yet to use it.
Poured it in a spray bottle, sprayed my bike down, hosed that thing off. Like,
I know it's
Dude.
this is pretty good stuff. But
I was
Chad,
blown away by that stuff.
that runs the Pro Honda oils and lubricants like stuff. He sent me a ton of stuff when I finally went and got a Honda.
Send him that right there. I ride a Cowie,
yeah.
but I will not use anything else to clean my bike besides that stuff, dude.
All right, that's
I
good
was
to know.
blown away.
Their stuff is really good. They have like a million different things.
Literally blown away.
They don't have just like oil and stuff. They have like every lubricant you could think of and like cleaners and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I do have.
I'm not
yes.
endorsed to say that.
No,
just an FYI.
The spray cleaner and polish, the Pro Honda,
Yeah.
sick, dude. Love
it?
it. Use it. Use
Yeah.
it on my frame. All that. It's
Don't use that
amazing,
on your
dude.
frame.
Why?
It's a polish.
bro.
I don't. Well, is it like SC1?
No.
Oh, it's not all slippery.
No.
Oh, okay. All
No,
right.
no.
I'm like, you're gonna
No.
screw yourself. All right. So let's get to Seattle predictions. We're back to the West Coast on the 250s.
I'm glad I'm not going to Seattle anymore.
I know it's
dude.
gonna. It might be muddy.
You know
it
how
might
pissed
be
off I
muddy.
would have been if I would have spent $2,500 or whatever in flights and hotels.
I know, it'd have been
for
bad.
me, the wife, and the kids,
Yeah.
and it freaking poured.
I know. Well, it always pours in Seattle. It's what it does.
It's an open stadium. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. The rest of the season is open stadium.
Yep. The rest of the year is open.
Yep.
Who do you think's gonna win 250s?
It's gonna be freaking pouring, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Hayden does in the mud. I don't
He
know
does
how
pretty good.
Julian does in the mud either.
I don't really think Julian's ran too. I don't know. Off the top of my head,
Cole Davis is winning it.
Cole Davies.
Cole Davies. Davies, whatever.
I think Deegan's gonna win.
Do you?
Yeah, I do think Deegan's gonna win this weekend. I think it won't. I think it will be muddy and it will be slick, but it won't be as bad as we think it might be.
If RJ Hampshire was there, he'd win it for sure.
Yeah, RJ would be pretty good there. Yeah.
So I don't know though. I'm gonna say Cole.
Okay.
I'm gonna
all
say
right.
Cole, Deegan, Julian,
Okay.
because it's a mud race.
What about 450s?
450s? Oh, Tomac's taking it.
Okay. He
Yeah.
won't be there.
And then Jet. Second.
Okay. He also won't be there.
Ryan Dungey third.
He'll be there and he'll win.
And then James Stewart for fourth.
Damn.
Villapoto fifth.
Yep.
Jeremy McGrath sixth. Jeff Emig seventh. 5-time. He's gonna get eighth. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
AP's winning it, dude.
You think AP will win? That'd be pretty sick if AP won that.
I think he's good in the mud.
Yeah, he is pretty good in the mud.
Do you remember when he won the one race? I
San
forget.
Diego.
Was it San Diego?
Yeah.
Where he jumped off the thing and landed in the water in the mud?
Oh, no. Wait, on the 250s?
Yeah, he was on 250.
Yeah. Oh, that was, I don't know where that was.
That was like 2009 or
yeah,
something.
that was
or
when he rode
something
for
like that.
Star.
Yeah.
No, not 2009.
Well, it was Yamaha, but
It was not 2009. That would have been
I don't know when
way
it was.
long ago.
So, but I think AP does really good in the mud.
Yeah, he does do good in the mud.
So I take AP to win this for sure.
I'll take Webb. I think Webb's going to win this weekend.
He
If
does
it's
good in the mud too.
Yeah, if it's muddy, I'll take Webb. If it's just a straight up race, I would actually take Sexton over Webb if it's not muddy. But who knows what it's going to end up being like? I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
So, yeah,
It's
I don't know.
solid though.
All right, good show.
Good show.
It was a good show.
That was fun.
Brent Duffy, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for being on the show. That was a good, perfectly timed.
That
Thank
was.
you.
Super nice guy. Really appreciate you. And he said that he would come into studio when he's in Temecula.
Yeah, which will be the next time. That will be his Fox Raceway National. Yeah.
Are you coming to my race in 2 weeks?
Well, maybe.
It's the weekend of April 4th.
Well, that's Ashton's birthday.
April 4th?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, on her actual birthday.
No,
so if it depends on when we're actually celebrating her birthday.
Yeah,
I
find
can't
out
remember.
because if not, then I'm not racing if it's her birthday.
Well, I mean, you can. You could just go later. I don't know. We'll
just let me know.
figure that out. Yeah.
Let me know.
Sucks to have to try and plan this stuff far ahead, but you have to.
Yeah. Hey, I have a really cool vlog coming out of my weekend of racing, but the GoPro footage
is gone. What'd you do?
No, dude. So since I hooked up a mic to it, right?
Yeah.
It sticks out a little bit, so I can't get it flush up against me right here, right? So I had to put it on an adapter where it sticks out a little bit. Well, like 2 minutes into the race, I didn't realize, but the camera went.
Yes.
So it's
just on the ground.
It's pointing at my crotch and my feet the whole time, dude.
That's a good angle. I
could
show
run
an
it.
angle.
I could run it.
Dude, you could say you could beat whoever.
That's
you don't
true.
know.
That is very true.
Who's going to prove it?
I did it first.
Number one place
this
guy
proves
over
it right here.
Yeah.
Yep. I was gonna give this to you to hang up right here.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It's my first one, dude.
Yeah, you should leave that. Yeah, you should put that at home.
Yeah.
Brent, thank you for joining.
Yeah, appreciate
everybody
you.
that asked the questions on my Instagram and everything, thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that's following me. I did put out a thank you on my
MX
Instagram.
Tech Talk with the really good question.
Yeah, he always has great questions.
Yeah.
Everybody on Instagram that follows me, I did hit 100K.
Dude, wait,
this
hold on.
weekend.
Okay, so on Sunday, right? I was talking with someone. I looked at your Instagram. You hit 100K.
On Sunday?
And then you lost 200 people for some reason and went to 98,000.
You mean 2,000 people?
Wait, no. 99,800 or something like that.
It was like 99.8?
Yeah.
Really?
I saw it hit 100K and then it went back down, dude.
Huh. I don't know why I would have done that.
Yeah. 2 people. Somebody brought it up to me too, and I noticed the same thing.
I have no
So
idea.
you hit 100K on Sunday, but for some reason you lost 200 people and then it went back up.
What I will say
I don't understand.
I've never, not once, and I'm not saying you're accusing me of this. I'm just saying I've never, ever, ever, not one single time bought a
followers?
follower. Not once.
I have.
Have you really?
Yeah, 2,000 of my followers are bought.
Okay.
So I only have 700 real followers.
That's fine.
I'm just kidding.
But it's
No, he has never bought followers,
Never.
dude. This is all real and genuine.
I paid one time to have a promotional post.
So? Everybody does.
No, I did it one time and it didn't do anything. And I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
And it was
No.
when I first started the Instagram. I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing that
There's
again.
no need for you to
I've
buy
never-
followers. Dude, the thing blows up.
Yeah, I've never, ever, ever bought a follower. So I know a lot of people probably are like, oh, maybe you did that. Never. You could look at, I'm pretty sure you could look at the analytics too to like figure out if somebody's done that.
Yes,
Please,
because it'll tell you
Be
the-
my guest,
yeah.
dude. Be
Handle
my
business.
guest. Go ahead. Look at whatever you want.
Dude, I'm so stoked though. 100K?
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So merch coming out. There is a
We
drop.
do got to film that.
I got to, you just try and take pictures real quick?
Yeah, probably.
Can you just jet to my house while I watch the girls? And
Maybe. I got to ask Ruth. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out off camera.
All right.
Thank you, everybody that follow along the
Yeah,
journey.
we appreciate you.
Go
Shout out
by
ETS.
Yeah,
Oh,
shout
we're
out
gonna-
ETS Racing Fuel. That's what I was about to do. ETS. Oh,
What was that, bro?
no, dude. ETS Racing Fuel, Albeck Co., TBT Racing, Yoshimura, best pipe in the game by far.
Dude, that thing had me ripping this weekend, and it sounded so good.
I know, it did sound good. Ride
love
Dunlop,
that. Love that pipe.
Motosport. If you're buying anything online, buy it from motosport.com.
23 MG.
Yeah, no,
the code?
that is not my code on Motosport. I don't have a
Oh, you
code
don't
on
have one.
Motosport.
That's for Factory Effects.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We are coming out with a team kit soon with
Yes.
Factory Effects. I'm working on
Yes.
that. That'll
And-
be pretty cool.
And we got 23 Moto Podcast merch coming
Yes.
out too.
Yep.
I've actually had a couple people hit me up for it.
There is merch coming out for the podcast. So
Yeah.
because you could support and the privateer thing.
Yeah.
That one I'm that's the thing I'm most excited about.
Yeah, support
So,
privateers.
We'll support privateers and I'll give you some more info on that later. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hit that like and subscribe button.
Yeah. And follow me.
Yeah, follow him.
He's got 100K, bro. I only have 2,700. He
There you
doesn't
go.
need any more followers.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
All him. Thank you guys.
Cap
Thank you.
him out.